So Google Stadia games are going to be full price. No discount because you're only streaming them and paying a subscription fee. But according to Phil Harrison of Google Stadia, why would they be any less than full price? You're getting more value for something that you don't own, and if Stadia goes under, you won't get your money back. Let's get into it. Skip it up and that up. So if you remember earlier this month, I discussed Google Stadia when they announced pricing. If you want the Stadia Pro service, it's going to be $10 a month. And you would think, like other streaming services, all the games on the service would be included in the price you're paying monthly. But no, they're not. You have to pay extra for the games. And back in early June, we thought that was a terrible idea. Also, signing up for Stadia Pro, which is $10 a month, gives you access to, if you have the internet speed, 4K 60 FPS gaming. And I thought paying anything extra to buy games on Stadia, which you're not really buying anything, the company Google's just allowing you to stream that game, was ridiculous. Well, Phil Harrison, who is now the head of Stadia, confirmed that games are going to be full price for Stadia, and he thinks, why would they be any less? You're actually getting more value. This is what he had to say. I don't know why it would be cheaper, Harrison told Eurogamer. The value you get from the game on Stadia means you could play it on any screen in your life. TV, PC, laptop, tablet, phone. I think this is going to be valuable to players. In theory, the Stadia version of a game is going to be at the highest possible quality of innovation and sophistication on the game engine side. And what he means there is that, look, our servers, our cloud servers are going to have top-notch GPUs and CPUs running these games. So it's going to be like having a high-end gaming PC in your pocket, even though this isn't your smartphone and you couldn't even fit a Turbo Express in your pocket, but you get my point. I just like having excuses to pick up my Turbo Express, don't judge me. Now, even though Phil Harrison just admitted that the games are going to cost just as much on Stadia, a streaming platform as they would on your PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Scarlet, PC, so on and so forth, he kind of steps back a little bit and says, I'm not sure about pricing. This is what he had to say. The publisher or the developer is in as much control of the prices as we are. So it's a bit difficult for me to say what the prices will be right now, but we're obviously going to be very aware of the prevailing prices in the marketplace. Meaning that if their competitors say, because there's rumors that Walmart's coming out with their own streaming service, remember, everyone and their mother is going to try to make one to be top dog. If they're offering new games for just the monthly fee, Google's going to try to, clap back at them and say, okay, now we're just going to offer all games for just $15.99 a month. You don't have to pay extra for them. Hold your breath on that one. That's probably not going to happen, but that's what he's insinuating if it does happen with one of their competitors. And there's some other things he mentions right there, but there's one other small little paragraph I want to read because I think it's interesting what he has to say and kind of funny. Because you could see he's trying to be a salesman for Stadia and trying to make consoles look bad. The industry is in transition. Not every developer and publisher is ready to move to subscription yet. Frankly, not every gamer is ready to move to subscription yet. So we wanted to give gamers a choice so they could engage in the games they wanted in the way they wanted. And in all cases, without the very high upfront cost of buying a sophisticated device to put under their TV or on their desk. Phil, when I could see maybe your argument for PC gaming a little bit with complexity, that coming from a PC elitist, but when did hooking up a console under your TV become a challenge? When did getting an Xbox One or PS4, HDMI cable, TV, power cable, outlet, press button, turn on, and they're capable of also streaming games with their respective services? So think about it. If anything, a console is simple. It'll be able to play, whether it be digital distribution or if people still want to go to brick and mortar stores and buy Blu-ray versions of the games. And with PlayStation Now, and Xbox Game Pass on the PS5 and the next Xbox, the Scarlet, they'll be able to stream the games too. And Microsoft's also doing what you're doing. So Microsoft's giving really the best of both worlds. And Sony, I'm sure, is going to try with the PS5 too to make it that you can play games on your smartphone and on their console. And consoles are simple. So they're going to offer what you're offering, Phil, and they're going to offer conventional gaming for people who want that as well. And consoles are not complicated. So what the hell are you talking about? Now, there's the argument that I've even made myself, so I'm contradicting myself right now. Review Contradict USA exposed in the comments. But when you buy a game now, you're not getting the full game anyway. I know that Phil Harrison could argue that, and it's a very valid argument, because every single time a new game comes out, whether it's for PC, PS4, Xbox One, or Switch, guess what? You need patches. So even if you get the physical copy of a game, you're not getting the full or unbroken experience. You still need a patch, you still need an update. So in theory, if Microsoft or Sony or whatever goes belly up, guess what? If their servers are down and you just have the Blu-ray, you may not have the full experience. Maybe a lot of times we see where games will give you this single player on a disc and then you have to download the multiplayer or whatever the case may be. But then again, at that point, why would you even want to download the multiplayer if Sony or Microsoft ceases to exist? Because you won't be able to play online anyway. But you get my point. You need patches for all these games, updates, no matter what system you play on, whether it be Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft's. You're still not getting the full game. But at least you're getting something. At least there'll be something that's playable there. Okay? It may be broken or maybe bugs in it that you won't be able to get updated patches anymore because Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo ceases to exist, but you have a physical copy, so there's something there that's playable. Your system, Phil, the Google Stadia cloud gaming service, you're making people pay full price for the game. Okay, I see your argument. Okay, cool, I could play on whatever so long as I have a fast enough internet connection, I could game wherever I want to. But do you really think the internet's ready for that yet, Phil? It's not. Okay, I have 4G LTE on my phone. There are some places I could get 60 megabits per second up and down, or 50 megabits per second up and down. Sometimes even more. I've gotten like 100 megabits per second up and down if I'm really like close to a tower and have good reception. But that's few and far between. The world of 5G being everywhere yet doesn't happen. So that value you're talking about is value coming in the future. Maybe way down the line. Yeah, I know 5G is going to be available years down the road and, everything's going to be the Internet of Things, but we're not there yet. So your service, maybe possibly for years to come, doesn't offer that value. And if Stadia doesn't work out for Google, they're going to shutter it. And what happens to all those games that people bought for $60 at full price? You going to refund them? No, you're not going to refund anybody. It's just going to be money they lost, and they're not going to have the games they purchased which all it does is allow them to stream them. Now you could argue the same thing for digital distribution, but you have the ones and zeros on your computer. So you actually have the data on your computer. That can't be stripped away from it. You could back it up. You could do whatever you need to do. With cloud, there's no data on your computer. It's from someone else's server far away being streamed to your house. So if you bought a game that way and that company shuts down their services, can't play that game anymore. The game you purchased with your hard-earned money. That's why people are angry these games cost full price. This is a new fledgling industry, and there's going to be services that fall on the business sword. And if Stadia is one of them and people bought a bunch of games for $60, they're going to be very angry. This is what needs to be figured out with cloud gaming before it comes mainstream. And no one really knows what to do yet because people are not going to be comfortable spending a bunch of money if they don't know if their games will always be there. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.